And welcome. It's been a long time now, hasn't it, everyone? This is Muna Yisrael, Solonomics 101. We had to get back on our grizzle, y'all. I told y'all, grizzle. I love chopping it up. I love the history, but guess what? You have to find balance. And some people could, that may be the case, but you have to find balance. I talk about Solonomics, I talk about history, I talk about learning, and there's balance. Where we are supposed to learn from those who've come before us. We're supposed to analyze their mistakes and the benefits of the things that they did and the drawbacks from the things that they did, and then apply it or not apply it in our everyday lives. And so I had to, for myself, take a step back after the whole Nipsey Hussle conversation. Like I said, I don't know why it hit me the way it did, but and just processed, because sometimes we may be feeling something, we can't really determine what we're feeling if it just happens upon us. But then, you know, if you're in tune, you could be like, okay, why am I feeling like this? And then allow yourself the time to process whatever that emotion is, right? And since I speak about Solonomics all the time, I'm very aware and cognizant of when I need to fall back a little. And so that's kind of what I did. I've still been here. The discussion continues to go on, but we had to get back to work. So we at the shop right now, the Yummy Cottage, doing our thing. This is one of our new products coming out. Actually, we're having vegan burgers today. The baby's drawing the board and everything. So this is the the things we do. But this is one of the products that's coming out. This is no, we do not have shipping as of yet. This is Sacred Basil iced tea, among other things. Today is Burger Day. Black bean burgers is about to be the bomb. And so if you're local, holla at us. Okay, applied knowledge is power. That's what I wanted to talk about. Applied knowledge is power. Before I get there, I realized even in just still seeing what a lot of people are talking about on certain matters, I realized how much we need to do this work and how much we don't want to do this work. Even with the all messages are visible. Even with the all of the conversations that are going on, there's an emotional element that oftentimes is tried to pass off as the other. They mean you're effeminate if you're in your feelings and you're acting. So we live in a society that doesn't validate to a certain degree emotions. And because of this, which is kind of more, when you talk about energy, that's more of a masculine energy. And because of the lack of validation of emotions, what even in different trending topics, what happens is people have an opinion, and then instead of seeking and searching for facts, we try to go and get the information that's going to support our emotional stance. But because we can't in many spaces just come out and be like, I feel this way, it's not, I would say, socially acceptable in many spaces to be like, I feel this way and I don't know why I feel this way. And then people go out and slut everything so that it can look like. And what I'm seeing, even in the ADOS discussion, is a manipulation of the emotion that you didn't have permission to explore. And so when people are presenting information, they can easily twist you that way and that way. So it's very important to not only just have a slant. It depends on who. They said the victor writes the story, right? And so we have to kind of apply, like I said, applied knowledge is power. There's people who say knowledge is power, but if you don't apply it, then how did you become empowered? And as it relates to this conversation, if we stick on one gear too long, for those out there who have drawn or driven manuals or stick shift in the past, it's where you have to be responsible for changing your gear. These new cars are mostly automatic. So the car can tell when it's time to shift gears. If you don't shift gears, you will burn out your gear clutch. One of the first cars that I learned to drive on is a stick shift. And so the stick shift keeps you aware of, okay, I need to go hard here. I need to fall back here. I'm about to bust a turn. Let me put downshift into second gear. I'm on the highway. Boom, let me go up. You know what I'm saying? And so that type of, and this is me just talking, y'all. So I don't have my long list of books right now and all of that good stuff. This is me just reasoning. This is a Solonomic session. And this is me just sharing that we have to apply to see some type of change, no matter what someone else does for you. And I do have some news stories from last week that I really didn't get to, but no matter what someone else gives you or does for you, if you don't take that information or that opportunity, if you don't walk through that door, if you don't apply yourself, then ultimately you have not become empowered. Somebody can, this is why you work for certain companies, right? They may be telemarketer, they may be whatever. They say they're going to give you some leads. This is called, I'm going to give you some leads. And those leads can be dead leads if you don't pursue it, or they can lead to opportunity. So it's ultimately, it boils back down to what the individual or individuals choose to do with what they've been given. And I'm not going to say it's hard. Through this whole thing, there's so much that in my mind's eye, I see and have tried and continue to try to do. And it doesn't always just go like, woohoo, I'm here. And you know what I'm saying? You envision it to be. Sometimes you go through the dark parts and you're like, man, when is it going to happen? You know what I'm saying? I've done this and I've done that and I've tried this and I've tried that. On the flip side of that, you have people who are not willing to try at all. They live only here in their minds. You know what I'm saying? Which is something you have to be careful of just saying what's going to work and not work just based on because of the fact that you think it or you don't think it. Like, for instance, cooking. This is what we're doing here at the Yummy Cottage. In cooking, you may think, oh man, it may work better this way, but unless you try it, unless you source it, unless you do all of these things, you're not going to know. It can sound good conceptually. And there are a lot of agendas that's being pushed in the community, outside of the community, that conceptually, it sounds good. People are like, yeah. But then when you work through it, you're like, wait a minute. Don't do that. How we got phones that's ringing these days? You know how people are all outside of it when you looking at the phone weird because the phone is ringing. It's a phone, right? Foremost, it's a phone. I'm like, who's calling my phone? But my bad. Now I forgot because the phone done rang and messed me up. How y'all doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Oh, I was talking about applying the knowledge. So I decided lately to there was a space here to begin to write. So I said, you know what? It's time for me to start to put little reminders and cues around. And so I started to write on the board and focus, follow one course until successful. Focus, follow one course until successful. That course, though, when you're focusing, if you focus too much, then you lose sight of the bigger. And so even with cameras and photography, you go in shot, out shot. You know what I'm saying? So focus doesn't mean like you just keep beating that one same thing, even though it's clear that the thing is not working. You kind of have to, twerk it. Not twerk it. Did I say twerk it? You have to tweak it. You have to tweak it. You have to tweak. You have to tweak it and see what's working, not working. And it may not be this to chuck the whole thing. Like just now, I was making a yummy burger. I'm giving y'all real life examples. Please leave that alone. And I'm not going to stay long. And we were making a yummy burger. Then the thought came to me like, I should put this joint in the oven because I didn't like the way it was finishing. So my daughter's looking at me like, in the oven? I'm like, yeah, I think I'll put it in the oven. Then I was like, nah, but I don't want it to dry out. This is applying the knowledge. Like if I do this, this is gonna happen. If I do this, that's gonna happen. So I'm like, nah, let's put it on broil. So you put it on broil, boom, you get your crust, boom, you melt your vegan cheese, boom, you take it out and it's good to go. And so that's how you learn as we go through this, as we go through this life. So hopefully all of this information that we are acquiring on YouTube and hundreds of thousands of hours of video and all of these blog posts that we're if we don't ever apply any of it, then it's just clutter. And if you try one thing and apply one thing, if you see one thing that you see may be beneficial for you or your family or your life, and you implement that one thing, and then from there you see how it works, how it makes you feel, if it's something health-wise, if it's a behavior, get up in the morning. Like I know to get up in the morning and do my exercise. I even went, I don't think I shared it here. I was like, I want a treadmill. See, this is how life works. I'm going to tell you a little. I want a treadmill. So then I start looking. And so I go on my favorite homie, Craig. I hollered at Craig. I was like, Craigslist, that's my homie. And then you see people who also had certain thoughts. And it didn't work out. So they maybe just wanted to get rid of their treadmill. So you got to know how to holler at Craig though, because everybody who over Craig's house ain't cool. You know what I mean? Some people over Craig's house is scammers, they're thieves, but every once in a while you get good people. So you got to kind of pull out your feelers. And then this was a couple of months ago, and so I'm looking because I'm looking at the price of the treadmill, and I'm like, I'm gonna get a treadmill. Anyway, lo and behold, boom, somebody comes through Craigslist like, I just want the treadmill gone. It's hardly used. It's used as a hanger in the garage. So I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? Let me get at your treadmill, homie. Because remember, in my thought, I was like, I got to get up in the morning and I want to do my exercise, this, that, and the third. This is the knowledge of what you're supposed to do. But for a while, I wasn't doing it. So anywho, I go check the person and I think that it could fit in my car. And it's way bigger than to fit in my car. So I holler at another homie, and he brings a truck and puts it in the car and then bring it home. So now it's there. You have the knowledge of what you have to do. You have the ability of what you're supposed to do, right? And now here comes the excuses. Here comes the reasons why the treadmill hasn't moved in 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? Until this little time I took off just to really reflect on allowing yourself to not focus and get out of focus. Yeah. I decided, man, forget that. So go to sleep early. You know to go to sleep early, because if you don't go to sleep early, you throw your body off. Wake up early. You know what I mean? Right now I'm up to doing 30 minutes. You see what I'm saying? Do your stretches. And then if you find yourself out of sync, step back and then go back on course, because it happens. We fall off the wagon. You know what I mean? Other things and other stressors and other things take our attention away. And not to say that they're not important, but sometimes we go so hard for everything else and everybody else and not realizing that if you don't take care of yourself, then who will? And so that's just my thoughts. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I'm still here. I do have some more information to bring and share. As always, keep it clean and professional, man. Share your thoughts and you don't have to be disrespectful. We talk about building community. I don't know how you're going to have community of disrespectful people. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's problematic. And so it's not that you don't have dissenting views or alternate opinions. It's the way in which we feel entitled to, and I guess I'll share this a little bit. We feel entitled that we have the right to beast on people, or, feel like we could come through and just disrespect people and then it's going to go all well. I'm almost done. So I guess I'll come back because the baby's just hating on me right now. I'll come back and talk about this whole stay on code, and mind your business conversation, right? I guess I'll come back and talk about that. But I wanted, after I took a little break, I wanted my first video just to be on some old building type stuff, because really that's what I'm about. You think I should drink some of this sacred basil? I don't know if y'all ever about sacred basil. Sacred basil is boss, okay? They also call it, what do they also call it? Ethiopian basil. They also call it Ethiopian basil, so we make it iced tea with it. Should I taste it? He's over there like, yeah, you should taste it. I already know what it tastes like, yeah, because we made it today. But anyway, let me go get ready for, what time is it? I'm going to go get ready for the peoples to come. It's 4 o'clock. So thank everybody for tuning in. As you see, we at work, so we'll talk to you later. All right, leave your comments, your questions, and all that good stuff. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you want to cleanse, the C3 challenge is up and waiting. I was looking around for something I could show you. It's up and waiting for you. It's spring cleaning time, and the C3 challenge holds your hand and walks you through the colon cleansing process, not just physically, but emotionally, because you have to validate your emotions, and mentally as well. So if you want more information about that, I'll go ahead and leave that link in the box. All right?